Kobe Bryant has been consistently great for so long that it's hard to ignore his place in Los Angeles Lakers history. His sustained excellence is reason enough for him to enter the conversation of greatest Laker of all time. The Lakers franchise is unlike any other in professional sports because of its prestige. It's captured 16 world titles and inducted arguably the biggest names in the sport into the Hall of Fame. It's quite an impressive list. Consequently, that makes Bryant's rank in Lakers history quite an accomplishment. Mind you, before getting the 5-time world champion, a look at the history of those that came before him is in order. Jerry West is one of the most beloved figures in Lakers history. Once upon a time, he was regarded as the greatest shooting guard the league had ever seen, and even earned the nickname of Mr. Clutch for his great play late in the ballgames. West was a premier scorer, shooter, and playmaker as evidenced by his career averages of 27 points and 6.7 assists per game on 47.4% field goal shooting. Also, he was a terror defensively that often locked up opposing guards. His exceptional two-way play made him a permanent fixture on both the All-NBA and All-Defensive teams. And yet, one cannot avoid the fact that his Hall of Fame guard participated in 9 finals and came out victorious once. This isn't to suggest that he does not deserve the acclaim he has received throughout his career, but rather to illustrate the differences between Baylor and him, Wilt Chamberlain included. Indeed, the big man was an incredibly dominating force during his 5 seasons with the Lakers, but that's just it. He only suited up for half a decade in the uniform. It's worth noting that Chamberlain was still a terrific scorer and punishing rebounder in his final seasons in the league. Also, he helped the Lakers win 33 games in a row and a world title during the 1971 and 72 season. He averaged 23.2 points and 19.4 rebounds per game during the finals that season, which resulted in him winning the 1971 and 72 NBA Finals MVP award. But again, his longevity as a Laker hurts his candidacy as far as being the greatest Laker ever. Gail Goodrich and Shaquille O'Neal share the same fate on this front despite their terrific credentials. O'Neal's prime is still viewed as the most dominant stretch of basketball in league history. It happens to coincide with the Lakers' 3-peat championship run, where he won 3 Finals MVP trophies. Bryant was O'Neal's sidekick during these title celebrations, although he did eventually graduate and become his partner more so than simply his wingman. Bryant was instrumental to those 3 titles given his playmaking throughout games as well as his clutch scoring. The defensive game plan devised by opponents to stop the Lakers became infinitely more complex as the superstar guard turned himself into one of the most lethal scoring options in the league. Even after O'Neal's departure in the summer of 2004, Bryant was simply unstoppable despite being surrounded with lesser talent. He accomplished feats that many could only dream of, such as outscoring a Dallas Mavericks team through 3 quarters of dropping a ridiculous 81 points in one game against the Toronto Raptors. After a few postseason first-round failures, the Lakers upgraded their roster and Bryant steered the team to 3 consecutive finals from 2007 and 8 to 2009 and 10. Bryant's playmaking and scoring proved invaluable during this stretch as the Lakers won back-to-back titles. That period of time is arguably the greatest run of individual and collective achievement for Bryant. He collected an MVP trophy as well as 2 Finals MVP awards. His collection of hardware coupled with his elevated role after O'Neal's exit enhanced his stature in the myths surrounding him. Thus, complimentary Hall of Fame Lakers such as James Worthy, Jamal Wilkes, and Bob McAdoo are not on the same level as Bryant. In addition, his longevity gives him a remarkable grip on the franchise in comparison to his predecessors. Have a look at his statistical career achievements and where they rank in Lakers history. 31,617 points, most in franchise history. 1,239 games, most in franchise history. 45,390 minutes played, most in franchise history. 11,024 field goals made, most in franchise history. 24,301 field goals attempted, most in franchise history. 1,637 3-point field goals made, most in franchise history. 4,879 3-point field goals attempted, most in franchise history. 7,932 free throws made, 9,468 free throws attempted, 1,438 defensive rebounds, 5,145 defensive rebounds, 6,575 total rebounds, 5,887 assists, 3rd in franchise history, 1,828 steals, most in franchise history, 619 blocks, 7th in franchise history. Bryant's victory in the 2010 finals against the Celtics tied him with Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in terms of championships won with the purple and gold. Johnson is the standard by which all point guards are measured. In terms of all-around brilliance, it's possible that no one was ever better than the man who earned the name of Magic. The 6'8" guard simply did it all. He snatched rebounds off the glass, ran length of the court, and fed teammates streaking to the hoop. In the half court, he directed the offense beautifully and dissected defenses like a coach running a basketball clinic. Johnson was also a sensational scoring option with very few weaknesses. His length coupled with his ambidextrous game made him a terror in the low post where he converted hook shots fairly easily. He got his spots with great regularity and destroyed defenses that double-teamed him. More importantly, though, Johnson's teams won and looked great in the process. During 13 seasons in the league, the superstar point guard participated in 9 finals matchups. One of those other players is one of his former teammates and the greatest scoring option ever, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The big man's time with the Milwaukee Bucks could lead one to wonder where he actually played long enough with the Lakers to be considered as the greatest player in franchise history. And the answer is simple, yes. Abdul-Jabbar played 20 seasons in the NBA, and 14 of those were spent with the purple and gold. His name figures prominently in the Lakers record books, given his consistent play during his entire career. Abdul-Jabbar was productive from the very moment he joined the franchise up to the point when he retired at age 41. Bryant is unquestionably the face of the organization and the name that most in his era will associate with the franchise, but he is not the best Laker of them all. Johnson and Abdul-Jabbar have better cases for that title. Then again, approaching the throne of the two of the best 5 players ever can hardly be looked at as a failure by Bryant.